Yo, what's going on everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best and fastest way to complete all the new Files robbery missions that got added in the brand new Agents of Sabotage DLC. In this guide, I will be going over all 4 of the new Files missions inside the Garments Factory, which are going to be the Black Box file, the Fine Arts file, the Project Breakaway file, and also the Brute Force file, including all the setups for each one of those files. So there will be timestamps down below in the description for anyone who wants to skip to a specific mission. But now let's get into this amazing guide. So to get things started, you want to make sure that you own a Garments Factory because you need this business to start these new missions. Once you own one, go up to it and then enter inside. Once inside, go down here to the bottom portion of the business where your computer is at and then sit down. Once you are sat down, log in, and here you'll see all 4 of the new Files missions. So one of these each week will be a priority file, which as you can see this current week is going to be the Brute Force file, and the priority file is basically just going to be a file that pays you double the amount of money. So the priority file is going to randomly be 1 out of 4 of the different files, and you can only do this one once per week, but don't worry, all of the other files you can do every 5 minutes. But that is only if you are switching the files every single time. If you want to do the same file that you just did, you are going to have to wait 20 more minutes. So the first file that we are going to be doing is the Black Box file. So pay the $20,000 for the setup cost, and then you'll see we have to do 3 mini setups first. But don't worry, all of these are really fast to do, and the first one we are going to be going over is the hacking device setup. This one is really easy. All you have to do is go over to the location it is telling you on the map, and I recommend going over there with an Oppressor Mark II. Because as you'll see, there is a bunch of enemies, and I recommend exploding them all with some homing missiles like I did on my Oppressor Mark II. Once you took them all out, you can then land here and then search for the hacking device. It's really small, it should be on a table like this. Once you find it, go up to it and then click right D-pad to collect it. After that, it should now tell you to go over to LSIA, so head over there. For this portion, I also recommend being in an Oppressor Mark II or some sort of flying vehicle because you need to fly to the very top of the tower and land on top of here. Once you landed up here, you can now walk up to this part and then plant the hacking device. Once you planted it, you now need to leave the area, and once you left the area, you have now completed the hacking device setup. It is that easy. After that, open up the phone, go over to the Darnell app, and then open it. Once you are on here, you'll see here's the next setup that we need to do, the sonar equipment. So go ahead and start this one up. This mission is really easy. All you want to do is go over to the location it is telling you to go over to. Once over there, you should see a tugboat and some people defending it. All you want to do is take out all of the people defending the boat and not the tugboat. It is easiest to do this with some sort of vehicle with homing missiles like an Oppressor Mark II, and once you took them all out, you then need to land on the very back portion of the tugboat if you are on an Oppressor Mark II like me. From here, we can now go over to the front portion of the tugboat where the box is at and click right D-pad to open it. Once you open it, you'll see you now have collected the sonar equipment. Now, all we need to do is deliver this over to the Garments Factory, and once you delivered it over inside of there, we are now completely done doing the second setup mission for the Black Box file. All we need to do is one more last setup. And since you'll be over at the Garments Factory after completing the second setup, we can now go over to the computer inside of here, sit down, and then log in. Once you logged in, we can now start the third and final setup, which you can see this one is called Weaponized Aircraft, and this one is really easy. Let's get into how to complete this last setup. The first thing you want to do is go over to the Merryweather barge. And once you arrive over here, you'll see a bunch of enemies surrounding the barge. What I recommend doing is taking out the helicopter and boats first. From here, we can now land on the very back of the barge to fight all of the enemies on this barge, which makes sure that you are very careful because you don't want them taking you out. Once you did take out all of the enemies though, you can now steal the Tula by getting inside of there, and as soon as you get inside the Tula and fly it up in the air, I recommend immediately going in first person to take out all of the Merryweather helicopters that will be coming to attack you. Because I don't know why, it is literally so simple to control the Tula in first person, but for some reason in third person it is way harder. There will be 2 different rounds of the Merryweather helicopters attacking you though, so there will be 6 in total. Once you take them all out, you can then deliver the Tula over to LSIA. I also do recommend parking the Tula in this exact marked location since it is closest to the tower during the finale. So once you parked it here, what we then need to do is get inside this airplane and leave LSIA. Once you left LSIA, the weaponized aircraft setup has now been completed, which was the very last setup. From here, we can open up the phone, go on the Darnell app, and start the Black Box file finale. This finale is one of the easiest in my opinion. All you have to do is get inside this car and then drive it over to LSIA. Whenever you arrive over at LSIA, drive over here beside the control tower and hop out of the truck. Once outside, click right D-pad to start beginning to hack the control tower. As you can see, the hack is pretty simple. All you have to do is connect the right sides to the other right sides, and then once you have it right, what you then need to do is click Y or triangle to test the connection. Once you connected the right sides and tested it, it should then say success. After that, you'll then be put through a quick cutscene of you rerouting the airplane to another location. Once you rerouted that airplane, you'll then be put off the cutscene, and now what you need to do is drive this car over behind us to the Tula to get inside of it. Once you are inside the Tula, hit the boost button to quickly get up in the air. And the boost button is just a honk button, so don't be confused. But anyway, once you are all the way up in the air, we now need to get very close to the airplane. Once you are close to the airplane, open up the phone and open up the SecuroServe hack to successfully hack this cargo plane. Just make sure you are in the blue circle radius to upload the virus. Once you successfully uploaded the virus, what you then need to do is destroy all of the engines, which there is going to be 4. And once again, I recommend doing this in first person, but you can also do it in third person. It is not that hard. Once you did destroy all 4 of the plane's engines, what you then need to do is follow the plane over to the crash site, which is going to be over at the LMOC. There also might be a fighter jet that will be attacking you, and he does have explosive bullets, so be very careful. That is the only person I would recommend taking out if you can. The best way to take out this fighter jet is by going behind him and then exploding him just like so. Once you did destroy all 4 of the plane's engines though, eventually once you follow the plane, it should then put you through a cutscene of the plane crashing into the LMOC. Once it crashes there, what you then need to do is go over to the crash site. Once over at the crash site, I recommend flying really high above the crash site and then jumping out of the Tula to just land right on top of where it is. Once you are in the ocean, we can now swim all the way down to the bottom where the crash site is actually located. And at this crash site, we need to look for 3 plane contents. In order to find these, we need to click our right joystick in order to have the sonar. Once you have that sonar available on the map, you should see all 3 of the plane contents somewhere in this crash site. I recommend going after the 2 gray dots first because those are the plane contents, and then after go after the white dot, which is going to be the black box. This is always going to be inside the plane of the crash site, so go over here inside the plane, go up to this white circle and click right D-pad to place the explosive. Once the door exploded, go back over to it to enter inside and then collect the black box. Once you collected it, we can now swim all the way to the top of the ocean where the dinghy is going to be ready for us to enter. Also, make sure that if you want to control the gunner seat in this boat, that you sit at the very front of this boat. Of course, that is how you control the gunner, but if you don't want to, you can always just sit in any one of these seats and use one of your regular guns, which I found to be easier for me. But anyway, once you are in the dinghy going over to the destination, you need to make sure that you take out a whole bunch of these enemies. And these enemies have to actually be the enemies, not the police. Don't be confused because there will be enemies and also police coming after you. But these enemies will be along the entire route of you going over to the destination, so they should be really easy to take out. Just make sure you take them out once you pass by. As you can see, here is some on top of this bridge. And the reason we need to do this is because one of the bonuses for this file is to get 5 kills during the escape of the file, which as you can see, we are currently at the escape part. Anyway, once you arrived over at the destination, we can now hop out of the boat to deliver the black box over to the buyer on top of this dock. And once we delivered it over just like this, we are now completely done doing the black box file. As you can see, here's how much money I got paid for completing the file. You can see $205,000 because we did complete all of the bonuses, which was destroying all 4 of the plane's engines, recovering all of the plane contents, and also taking out 5 people during the escape. And chances are this will be the first time that you completed this file, so you will get a $50,000 bonus at the very end, as you can see. Alright, so now getting into the next file, we are going to be doing the fine art file next. And of course, the setup cost is once again $20,000, and we do need to do 3 setups first before we can do the fine art finale. First setup that we will be going over is the EMP charges, which this one is very easy. All you want to do is go over to the location it is telling you to go over to and then take out all of the security in this area. Once you took out all of the security, we can then land here next to this big truck and then go up to it to click right D-pad to lower the container. Now go over here on top of the container to open the other one on top, and then once you open it and got the EMP charges, we can then deliver this over to the garment factory. And boom, just like that, we are completely done doing the first setup. Since we ended that first setup mission over here inside the garments factory, we can now walk up to the computer to start the next setup mission, which this one is called Approach Vehicle. All we are doing in this setup is going over to LSIA and then heading over to the storage facility. Once you are over at the storage facility, you should see some security guards guarding the entrance. So take them all out, and then I recommend landing at the very top of these stairs. Next, enter inside this room where there should be one more guard to take out, and then enter inside the yellow circle where the storage facility entrance is at. Once you are inside here, all you need to do is destroy all 4 of the security controls, which you should see them very easily because there is a red arrow above each one of the 4. Once you did shoot and destroy all 4 of the security controls, we can now make our way to the very bottom to steal one of the aircrafts. Once you did get inside of any one of these helicopters, we can then fly outside and then deliver over to our drop-off location. Once you did arrive over at that marked location, we can then park the helicopter here and click right D-pad to stash it. Once you stashed it, from here, leave the area. Whenever you left the area, you have now completed the approach vehicle setup, which was the second one. Now we only have one more to do, which we are going to be starting right now from the Darnell app. Once you launch up the Darnell app, the third and final setup is going to be called the facial recognition setup. And this setup is really easy. All you need to do is go over to the location and explode all of the people at this area. Once you took out all of the people, we can then land here at the very bottom to break into the trunk of the felon to collect the surveillance drone. Whenever you did get that surveillance drone, what you need to do is go over to the vantage point it is telling you to go over to, and once you are over there, hop out of whatever vehicle you are inside of and click right D-pad to pull out the drone. Once you are in the drone, fly it over here to this yellow circle radius where the apartments are at, and then search for the target. Once you find the target and the correct one, go up to his face to scan it. Once you scanned his face successfully, the drone footage should end, and then you need to wait for Jody to analyze the target. After that, leave the area, and just like that, you have now completed the very last setup for this file. But we are now ready to do the finale, so open up the phone, go on the Darnell app, and then you can see the fine art finale is now ready to be started. Once you start it, the first thing that we need to do is go over to our helicopter that we parked at the marked location during the setup. Once in the helicopter, fly this over to the Maze Bank West. Now land on top of the Maze Bank West perfectly like I did, and then walk slowly over here to where the security guard is going to be, but make sure he does not see you and take him out with a headshot from up here. It is really important to make sure that you do this entire first part completely stealthy and don't get caught, because that is part of the bonus for this file. Anyway, once you are doing the hack for the service room door, it is really simple. All we need to do is match one line from one end, going continuously to the other side of the line. Once we did match it correctly, we should now be entering inside of the building, and once you are inside this building, we need to be stealthy this entire part. So get some sort of weapon with a silencer and take out this first guard with a headshot. Next, go around this other part where there will be one other guard and take him out with a headshot, but also very stealthy. From there, we can now plant all 3 of the EMP charges at these 3 different locations, and then after that, we can go in this room to go downstairs. Just be careful because there is one other guard at the entrance of these stairs, so take him out first with a headshot and then go down. Once again, on the way down, there will be 2 more guards down here, so take them both out really quickly with a headshot, that way you don't get caught. Now, before we enter inside this next room, I recommend clicking right D-pad to detonate the EMP charges, that way all of the lights get turned off. From there, we can go inside this room with our night vision to enter the hatch of the penthouse. And this next part, you are going to get caught no matter what, so just take out all of the guards inside of here. There should be around 5 guards in total. After you took them all out, you need to locate the switch, which it will be in the same place every single time, right here underneath this little table. Right after that, the secret door should open, so enter inside this secret room, and there should be a bypass control panel to walk up to. So walk up to it and click right D-pad to do the quick bypass. And this hack, I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with. It is the fingerprint cloner hack from the Cayo Perico heist. It is really easy. All you need to do is match 2 different fingerprints. Once you finish doing the fingerprint, the safe door should open, so enter inside and you'll see 3 different glass cases with contents inside. You want to first destroy the glass case on the left and then the one on the right, and then after the one in the middle, which is going to be the main target. And the reason we want to do the main one at the very end is because once we break the main target's glass, there will be some gas that gets deployed. Anyway, once you did steal all 3 of those contents, what we now need to do is make our way out of here and deliver the idol over to the buyer. The fastest way to do this is when escaping the garage. I recommend waiting for one of the NPCs to drive in with their vehicle and then take them out. Once you take them out, we can get inside this vehicle and then drive this over to the buyer. Here you can see I just delivered my contents over to the buyer and I have now completed the entire The Fine Arts File mission. Here you can see I completed all of the bonus challenges, which was to enter the penthouse undetected, flick the switch in under 60 seconds, and also take all the cabinet contents. And as long as you completed all 3 of those bonuses, you should have earned an extra $50,000 as a bonus. So you should have earned $203,000 after completing that entire The Fine Arts file. Of course, same thing like before, if this was your first time doing this file, then you will also get a $50,000 bonus at the very end after completing it. Okay, the next file I will be going over is the Project Breakaway file, and this one is very easy. Let's get into it. Of course, the setup cost is once again going to be $20,000, and we do need to do 3 setups before we can actually do the finale. And the first setup is called the mobile tracking one, and this mission is very simple. Let's get into it. All you are doing is going over to a location where there should be a van and a RC Bandito. Once you see that van, go behind it and click right D-pad to take control of the RC Bandito. From here, drive it to one of the 3 different areas on the map that should be marked, and you'll see there should be a van around that area. Once you find the van, go behind it and then click right D-pad to begin the hack of the back door opening. Once the back door opens, drive the RC Bandito inside and stash it inside the box. Once you stash it inside the box, the RC Bandito should now completely end, and from here all you need to do is leave the area. After you left the area, just like that, we have now completed the first setup. After you complete the first setup, of course, just like before, open up the phone, go over to the Darnell Inc. app, and then we can start the second setup. This one is going to be called the thermal charges, and this setup is really easy. Let's get into it. What you first want to do is go over to the post-op depot, and here will be a whole bunch of security guards. I recommend just taking them all out. You can do this stealthy, but taking them all out is way faster. After you took them all out, there should be this small building here next to them, so enter inside and then look for a delivery list on one of the 3 tables. Once you find it, open up your phone and then take a picture of it to send it to Jody. From there, she'll give us a whole new location to go over to, which should be a warehouse, and at this warehouse will be some more guards. I recommend taking them all out just like so. Once you took them all out, enter inside the warehouse, and inside of here will be 3 or 4 guards. Just take them all out and then search the entire room for thermal charges. They should be on top of this table right here. Once you picked up the thermal charges, we can now exit the warehouse and then deliver this all the way over to the garments factory. Once you delivered it over to the garments factory, we are now completely done doing the second setup. And since you will already be over here at the garments factory, go over to the computer and then start the third and final setup, which is going to be called the encryption bypass. This mission is really simple. All you need to do is go over to this area where there should be an apartment to enter inside. Once inside the apartment, you need to search for a keypad, which should be on this wall right here. Once you find the keypad, click right D-pad and then complete this really easy hack. Anyway, once you complete this, the basement door should now unlock, and once it unlocks, go over to the door to enter inside, and then you can now go down to the basement. Be careful because down here there will be 3 enemies. Just simply take them all out, and then once you take them all out, go over to one of these hard drive locations, and there should be the malware on one of these hard drives. Once you found the malware and picked it up, we can now leave the basement and then leave this apartment. Once you exited the apartment, the next thing we need to do is take out one of the agents who is trying to escape. And once you do end up blowing up the agent, you need to go up to his body and then take a picture to send it to Jody. From there, all we need to do is deliver this over to the garments factory, and just like that, we are now completely done doing the third and final setup. After completing that third setup, we should already be inside the garments factory, so go over to the computer and then log in. Once you are logged in, we can now start the Project Breakaway File finale. And this finale is really easy. What you first want to do is open up the phone and then go on the Trackify app, and you'll see there is going to be a red dot on the map. Once you see that red dot, what you want to do is follow it until you are really close to it. Once you are close by and basically on the red dot where it is located, you should see some enemies. So from here, take out all of those enemies and then take them all out with headshots. The reason we want to get as many headshots as possible is because one of the bonus challenges in this finale is to get 15 total headshots. But yeah, once you entered inside the main area where the Project Breakaway is going to be located, what you want to do is hold right D-pad to have access to the RC Bandito. From here, drive the RC Bandito over to the gas pumps and then detonate it. Once you detonate it, you'll now be put back over to where you were located in the Project Breakaway area, and then now you should be able to go through this gate. Once inside here, you should see 3 enemies, so first of all, take them both out, and after, plug in the malware drive over here in this area. After that, go over here to the left where there's going to be 3 computers, and then hack the terminal. As you can see, this hack is really easy. After that, all we need to do is wait for the malware to upload. There will be an uploading bar at the bottom right corner, and this entire time there will be some guards who will be spawning inside this room, so make sure once again that you take them out with a headshot. In the meantime, I like to go over to all of these jail cells and take a look where all of the contents are located inside of, that way I know which cells to burn first. Because once the malware has successfully uploaded, you'll see you need to next locate the hard drives, and these hard drives are going to be in one of these jail cells. Of course, if you were looking at them before when we were waiting for the malware to upload, you should already know where they are, so go over to those jail cells and then place a thermal charge to enter inside. What we want to steal is a pile of hard drives and also a pile of black books. There's going to be 1 pile of black books and then 2 piles of hard drives. Once you stole everything, what we now need to do is make our way out of here. And doing this is really easy. All you need to do is take the vehicle that you brought here over to the buyer, and if you want to, you can definitely take out some more enemies and get some more headshots in case you think you didn't get those 15 headshots already. Anyway though, once you delivered the hard drives over to the buyer, you are now completely done, and you should have completed all of the bonuses. As you can see, here are all of the bonuses completed for me. They were to locate the Project Breakaway in 5 minutes, get 15 headshots, and also recover the black books and the server blades, which I did show you how to do all of those bonuses. Anyway, once again, if this was your first time completing the Project Breakaway file, then you will get a $50,000 bonus at the very end as well. Alright, but finally getting into the very last file, that is going to be the brute force file. And once again, the setup cost for this one is going to be $20,000. Once you pay that, we need to do the 3 setups first before we can actually do the finale. And the first setup that we will be doing is called the private military armor. This setup mission is really easy. All you want to do is go over to the Merryweather lockup, and once you arrive over there, you should see a bunch of guards in the front. All you want to do is simply take them all out, and then once you take them all out, what you want to do next is break in the military lockup. Once you are inside, you'll see a whole bunch more of some Merryweather agents, so first of all, take them all out. After you took out all of the guards, what you now need to do is locate the armor inside of one of the 3 different vehicles, and what I recommend doing is shooting the back window of each one of the vehicles to just see where the armor is inside of. That way you don't waste your time opening all 3 of these trunks. You can just shoot one of the back windows to see which one actually has it inside, and then once you see which one has it inside, then you can go inside the car and drive it out. Once you drove the contender with the armor outside of the Merryweather lockup, we can now deliver this over to the garments factory. And just like that, we are now completely done doing the very first setup mission. And after that first setup mission, we should already be inside the garments factory, so go over to the computer and then log in. And the second setup that we need to do is called the infiltration equipment, which this setup is really easy. All we need to do is first of all head over to the military lockup. Once over there, you should see a bunch of enemies at the very front entrance, so take them all out, and then once you take them all out, one of them should drop a military pass. Once you get the pass, then go over here to the entrance of the military lockup to then enter inside. Once inside, you should see a bunch of enemies that you need to take out, but don't even really worry about these enemies. What we need to do is steal a military vehicle. Of course, some of these guys you will need to take out, but I recommend just snacking up while you are running to one of these military vehicles, and I recommend getting in one of the fastest military vehicles that you can get inside of, which in this case for me was the Mesa. So once you get your military vehicle, drive it outside of the lockup, and now all we need to do is deliver this vehicle over to one of our marked locations. I don't know why I said locations, it's only one marked location, but once you park it over at that location, what you then need to do is leave the area, and just like that, you have now completed the second setup mission. Right after that, open up the phone, go on the Darnell app once again, and then we are now ready to do the third and final setup, which is called Override Key. And literally out of all of these different files and the setups, this is the easiest setup to do. All we are doing is going over to the music locker and then entering inside and looking for a specific person that Jody will send you a picture of. Once you found that person, they should show up as a green duffel bag on the map, so walk up to them and then click right D-pad to collect the override key. From there, all we need to do is leave the music locker and then deliver this override key over to the garments factory, and then just like that, we are now completely done doing all of the setups. So we are now ready to do the finale for the brute force file, and this one is a really easy finale. Let's get into how to do it. What you first want to do is go across the street where we parked our military vehicle in this marked location and then get inside. Once you get inside, drive it all the way over to Fort Zancudo and make sure you make it over there before 5 minutes, which should be really easy. As long as you don't crash, you should have been able to do that. Once inside Fort Zancudo, park the vehicle here in this area and then now go over here to this guard to show him your pass. After that, he should then open this gate here in front of you, and then here you need to walk inside. Once you are inside, go up to this elevator and then click right D-pad to insert your military pass once again. Once you went all the way down the elevator, you should now be inside of this area. From here, we need to locate the loading bay, which this will be quite away from us. So what we need to do is follow exactly where I'm going, making sure that we are stealthy the entire way, making sure that we don't get in the way of anybody's cone of vision. All the way until you get to this point right here. Once you are at this point, you should see a guard. Wait for him to turn around, and as soon as he turns around, we can then go right behind him and smack him in the back of the head. After that, come back here to where that first door was on the left, because inside of this door will be a minigun in case you want to use this gun to take out one of the juggernauts that there will be in a second. After that, follow exactly where I'm going over here to the end of this hallway where there will be the last set of enemies. Once you take out all of the enemies, there will be one last person, and that will be the Juggernaut. I found that the best weapon possible for me to take out the Juggernaut with was my sniper with explosive bullets. If you don't have explosive bullets, then honestly, I don't know what else for you to use except maybe like an RPG or a homing missile. Once you did end up taking out the Juggernaut, what you then need to do is come over here to this control panel and then click right D-pad to hack into it. After you hacked it, the gate should then open, and then you'll see the scarab is going to be inside of here. What you want to do is go up to it and then enter inside the scarab. But once you are inside the scarab, click right D-pad to insert the override key. That way we can actually drive this. After that, we can now escape using this tunnel. So drive the scarab through the entire tunnel, and there should be some vehicles driving through. I recommend taking out all of these vehicles by exploding them with the scarab, because part of the bonus of this finale is to explode 5 vehicles with the scarab, which you can see we just exploded 2, but don't worry, there is going to be way more vehicles once we escape the entire tunnel. Anyway, once you escape the tunnel, there will be some more enemies and vehicles outside here that you should definitely take out if you haven't took out 5 vehicles already. And once you do take out 5 vehicles, you can then stop exploding all of these vehicles with the scarab. And after, we can now deliver the scarab over to the buyer, and after that, we are now going to be completely done doing this finale. Just like that, I delivered the scarab over here to the buyer, and here's how much money I got paid for completing the entire finale. Of course, we did get all of the bonuses, which as you can see was to simply reach the base in 5 minutes, enter area A undetected, and also destroy 5 vehicles with the scarab. And once again, if this was your first time completing this file, you'll get a $50,000 bonus at the end. And yeah, that is how you complete all of the brand new files that got added in the brand new Agents of Sabotage DLC in GTA 5 Online. I hope you all did go on to enjoy. This video did take me quite a while to record. As you can see, it is literally a over 25-minute long video. So if you went on to enjoy, please do me a favor by going down below and dropping a like on the video. And of course, if you aren't already, make sure you also hit that subscribe button with notifications turned on. But until next time, I will see you all in my very next GTA 5 Online video. Peace.